You're watching another episode of Speak Up for Blue TV, where you get the latest, greatest, and not so greatest ocean news happening around the world today. And on top of that, you get my take on things. I'm Andrew Lewin, founder of SpeakUpForBlue.com, a website dedicated to supporting the ocean conservation movement through awareness, education, and action. Today is Thursday, and we're going to switch, as usual, we're going to switch things up a little bit. And actually, we're going to profile a Speak Up for Blue ocean leader. And the reason why we're going to do this is because I believe ocean leaders inspire millions of people around the world to do better for the oceans. And that is why SpeakUpForBlue.com concentrates on ocean leaders so much, because they inspire so many people to do good things for the ocean. And today, the person I'm going to profile is no different, and it probably is one of the best people to make an example of an ocean leader who inspires the world, and that is Dr. Sylvia Earle. And there's this particular reason why I want to profile her, and she's the first person I actually profile on video, and I'll tell you at the end of this video, so just stay tuned. Right now we're just going to go through a brief description about her life, because I think it really shows how someone from her upbringing can come and become such a face for the oceans. So Sylvia was born in New Jersey. Yes, not even really by a coast. She actually grew up on a farm with her parents. And at a very young age, Sylvia was taught to observe and respect nature. She would go out and play in the woods that backed onto the farm. And at the age of 13, she moved down to Clearwater, Florida, where she was first introduced to the marine environment of the Gulf of Mexico. And throughout her teenage years, she would explore in the oceans, try and go underwater as much as possible, just to find out what's underneath there and what she can observe. Sylvia later earned scholarships and worked her way through college at Florida State University. And it was there she first learned to scuba dive, which, to be honest, was probably paved her way to where she was today. In the early 1960s, Sylvia earned a master's degree from Duke University. And soon after that, she went on a National Science Foundation, one of the major funding bodies in the U.S., on an expedition into the Indian Ocean to do more exploration. In 1966, Sylvia earned her Ph.D., where she was the first marine scientist ever to study the plant life in the Gulf of Mexico. Phytoplankton, that is. Since then, Sylvia has dedicated her life to cataloging every species of plant life that she can find in the Gulf of Mexico. Sorry about that, I can't really speak today. Her career took her to many places, such as a research fellow at Harvard University, a resident directorship at Cape Hayes Marine Laboratory in Florida. But her career was shaped by the underwater exploration of the sea, by her underwater exploration of the sea. Sylvia led the first all-women team of researchers into the Tektite 2 Mission 6 expedition in the Bahamas, where her research team lived 50 feet below the surface for 2 weeks in a small structure, which had never really been done before, especially by all women. The publicity surrounding that expedition made Sylvia a recognizable face across the U.S., and she was in high demand to do public speaking events. She became an outspoken advocate for undersea research and used that interest to educate the public and raise awareness for the damage being done to the oceans by pollution and environmental degradation. In the 1970s, Sylvia took part in scientific missions all around the world, including the Galapagos, Panama, China, back to the Bahamas, and of course back to the Indian Ocean. Since then, she has participated in documentaries, wrote numerous books, and explored the ocean with a special interest in the deep sea. And in 1979, she was, and still is, the only person to walk on the seafloor untethered at 1,250 feet below the ocean surface off the island of Oahu. Sylvia started, in 1980, she started 2 companies, along with engineer Graham Hawkes, called Deep Ocean Engineering and Deep Ocean Technologies. These business ventures design and build undersea vehicles that allow scientists to maneuver at depths previously defied by any other existing technology. And in the early 1980s, she actually took a leave of absence from her companies to serve as chief scientist for NOAA, where she was responsible for monitoring the health of the nation's waters. Today, Sylvia Earle is an explorer in residence at National Geographic Society. And more recently, she led the Google Ocean Advisory Council to provide content and oversee the ocean layer in Google Earth. To date, she has led over 70 expeditions, logging more than 6,500 hours underwater. That's amazing. In 2009, Sylvia received the TED Prize for her proposal to establish a global network of marine protected areas that she calls hope spots, so that to save and restore what she calls the blue heart of the planet. And you've probably seen Sylvia in person or on TV as she tours the world to speak about protecting the ocean, and she probably inspired you in some sort of way just by her passion for the ocean through her talks. But I encourage you to try and meet her in person if you can. If she's available at a speaking, or she's going to be speaking in your area, I really recommend that you go out and see her and try and speak to her one-on-one, because her energy is amazing. I mean, she's over 75 years old right now. She still snorkels and scuba dives on her expeditions, and she's still fighting. She's still fighting that fight to protect the oceans and stop environmental degradation. I did have the pleasure to meet Sylvia in 2010 at the National Geographic headquarters during Oceans Week in Washington, D.C. The meeting inspired me to create SpeakUpForBlue.com, which you watch now and where you go to hopefully on a regular basis. And it helped me dedicate my life to help people get to do more to protect the ocean. So that's our show for today, and it's the last show of the week. But before I go, I want to leave you with the question of the day. How has Dr. Sylvia Earle inspired you to protect the oceans? I want to know. Put your answer in the comments below. And remember, of course, if you like the channel, if you like the content that I provide, click the like button. If you want to see a story profiled on this channel, just let me know in the comments or contact me through the website. I'll be more than happy to look at any kind of story that you want. And as usual, share with your family, your friends, your network, and help raise awareness of what's happening around the ocean, what's happening in the oceans around the world. I'm Andrew Lewin, founder of SpeakUpForBlue.com, and as usual, happy conservation.